Right, so very quickly, gonna try and cover what happened in the not Brexit debate. I was gonna say Brexit debate, but the May and Corbyn interview debate, general election debate. Although of course it wasn't a debate really, it was more because it was individually interview debate with first with the audience and then with Jeremy Paxman grilling each of them individually rather than um, a head-to-head kind of debate, as Theresa May didn't want that sort of thing, and she would have performed poorly in that sort of thing. But I just wanted to quickly give thoughts about who did well on in this, and of course neither of them did particularly well, and they both got a good grilling from Jeremy Paxman and from the audience, both of them to a fair amount. I think Corbyn certainly had it worse. He certainly had a tougher questions, and yeah, but Paxman went tough on both of them, so he wasn't. Maybe the crowd were tough on both of them to some extent, but they seemed more polite with Theresa May for some reason, as she's the prime minister, so it makes sense. But yeah. So as I say, both of them, yeah, were toughly grilled. As I say, toughly grilled on the subjects, and they all had. I mean, we've basically seen these kind of debates between them and interviews which followed a similar sort of vein of why do you support the IRA? Why do you love the IRA? Why did you meet with the IRA? The same sort of questions we've had all the time on them. How are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that? What would you do if in a nuclear war? Would you use Trident? Would you why are you cutting social care and everything? A lot of these they struggle to answer, to be fair. And I think the overall thing, it was good certainly seeing them getting grilled on these issues, but they certainly didn't answer. Theresa May certainly didn't answer clearly on a lot of it. She did better when it came to talking about Brexit, certainly a lot better. Towards the end of her interview with Jeremy Paxman, and he grilled her good, as I said, as he did with Coleman, but she was stronger on when it came to Brexit, and Corbyn obviously wasn't, because half his party doesn't want it. Although of course he did at least respect it, unlike Lib Dem Tim Farron. If Tim Farron was there, he would be like, "Well, I think we need another referendum because people didn't really understand what they were voting for. I grew up in Preston under Margaret Thatcher, and it was terrible." You know, that's basically all he ever says. But yeah, as bad as the Lib Dems are and the Greens, these neither party is quite as bad, although they're both bad, I would say. Obviously Labour much worse in my opinion, but and of course on immigration they both got a good grilling. The main thing was there was this that Corbyn and Labour tried to tiptoe around, saying, well, we might reduce immigration. We don't actually want to, because our core supporters all like immigration, but we also see that we need to cut it because of lowering wages, depressing wages of cheaper work from Eastern Europe and wherever. So at least they were right on that, depressing wages, and we have seen that in certain sectors, like plumbing and construction and whatever. So, and he did say you would have a balanced based immigration based on skills you actually need, which is right, but then he said he wouldn't. He would probably reduce it, which means probably reduce it means it might stay the same, and but he would still keep it fairly high. But at least he wants to do something. Of course, if you're worried about immigration, you wouldn't vote for Tories. Nor would you vote for Conservatives, really, because their record on immigration's just as bad. Even though they do want to bring it below 100,000 net. Theresa May's had all this time to do it, and I mean, yeah, that's why I can't trust her on it, because she's had all that time as Home Secretary in 7 years to bring immigration down. She didn't bring it down from outside the EU, nor within. Of course, she couldn't from within, but why didn't she do anything about from outside the EU? So, yeah, of course, terrible on that. What was that? Corbyn was also asked about the Falklands, which he was completely off on, saying there shouldn't have been the Falkland Wars. Maybe, yeah, it probably should have never been a thing, but then should have backed British, because Argentinians have no rightful claim to the island, and the people who live there want to be British. He should have just said straight away, the people who live on Falkland Islands want to be British. That should be enough reason for you to want to defend it as a place. And of course, Theresa May is going to be cutting a lot of things, and she basically said, well, I can't give you specific figures on this and that and whatever, because of she was going to make it up after the referendum, probably because it would be unpopular. And this is where the Conservative manifestos really shot themselves in the foot. They basically had an easy win and on a lot of these things, and they've ruined it for a lot of them. In summing up, basically, neither of them came out unscathed. They've both been hit by it, but I think Corbyn, he's better at showing a bit of personality, a little bit more. He had a little bit of a joke with Paxman, and I think people are starting to like that. With Theresa May, you're not getting. She seems very uneat ease, nearly all the time, and she's not that confident. And she won't be now, because the polls are starting to shift more towards. The gap is narrowing significantly. Now it's only 5 points or something. I mean, that's still a fairly easy win, but I mean, people are starting to resent her for what happened in Manchester and other places, because cuts to policing certainly doesn't help it. And she didn't say she would stop the cuts in policing. She didn't say she would put in the 20,000 policemen that she took away over the past government, since the start of the last government, which we have lost 20,000. All the other parties pretty much agree that you should be putting the extra policemen back in there, and soldiers, giving the money to soldiers and all. So I wouldn't trust either of them on security, as far as I can throw them. So yeah, not very far. And on schools, wasn't very good on that either. As I say, on Brexit she was slightly better, but see, they both missed an easy political win in saying, and of course none of them could say, how much would you give the EU to pay them? Would you give them 100 billion? And she was right. This was why she got strong, where she was saying, well, no deal is better than a bad deal. Corbyn said, well, there will be a deal. Well, there will be a deal, whatever it is. We'll give the fisheries, we'll give free movement of people, whatever is a bargaining tool. Now, I do think the Tories might also give something in, but I like the idea that they will, at least, because there are people in the Conservatives which I like Rees-Mogg, a lot of the Brexiteers in the party. If one of them was running, I would probably vote for them. But as May is, even though people like to say she's going on an extreme Brexit, I certainly do not trust that. She wasn't even a Brexiteer; she was a Remainer. So, how do people think she suddenly had this massive U-turn? I know she said she wasn't going to have an election, but then she put it. But that was just political play. She saw a good opportunity and she did it. Can you blame her that much? And if it backfires, she's only got herself to blame. So, neither did particularly well in conclusion on this debate, but there were some good points from some of them. Each of them had somewhat good points, but I wouldn't be voting for either of them. But anyway, so but I guess there'll be more debates and interviews like this coming up, and it's not long now till the election next Thursday. This certainly doesn't change any. This confirms what I already knew about the two parties, and why not to vote for them, or Labour, or Lib Dems, or the Greens.
No, 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 no.